Hey everybody, it's the end of June, so it's time for one of my annual traditions, which is to talk about my favorite games of the year so far, 6 months in. And for this video, I'm going to focus on 10 games that are new for 2025, either ones that I covered on the channel that are released, or ones that I did a preview for on crowdfunding this year. And as a little bonus, I'm going to talk about a few games that are new to me this year, but were released in 2024 or earlier. So my first bonus new release to me game is Decorum Moving Out, the expansion for Decorum. This one reminded me, first of all, that I love Decorum. My son and I played through a whole bunch of that again. It's just a great game. But all of the extra stuff, the vehicles, the boxes, the bubble wrap, and the fact that in Moving Out, you have a limited number of items to move around. So the puzzle is very different and kind of tighter, but also less, free form than the other one, is excellent. And I just think this is a great game. If you like puzzles, specifically for two-player play, this is one of the best out there. Decorum Moving Out. My next new to me game is Life of the Amazonia. This is a bag builder, kind of mixed with a tile placement, worker placement. Well, not really workers. I don't know. You're placing stuff and trying to score these animals. This game is awesome. And just to kind of show how awesome it is, I was playing it very wrong in the video that some of you might have watched, in that I totally didn't remember that you were allowed to trade in 2 tokens for a wild of another token, which really opens up the play space quite a bit. And that makes the game so much better. And even without me playing the game correctly, even without me realizing that was an option, this was still one of my favorite games of the year, and that's just pushed it up even further. So yeah, this is a great game if you like bag building, if you like quick Euro, well, not quick, I guess it's not like a super quick game, but just really cool Euros where you level up in really fun ways. The solo mode is great. Yeah, this one blew me away, Life of the Amazonia. And then what a 1-2 punch for Bad Comet Games, which I'd never even heard of before these. My last favorite game that is new to me, but not new to 2025, although this one did get a big reprinting in 2025, so it's closer, is Wondrous Creatures. Gosh, this game is good. My buddy Jerry described it as a mix between Ark Nova and like Wingspan or Everdell, one of those kind of tableau building games. Totally agree. It does borrow mechanics from a lot of games, but it does it in an amazing way. Yeah, I mean, as much as I love Life of the Amazonia, I think I might love Wondrous Creatures just a little bit better. If these were 2025 releases, they would probably be in my definitely top 10 by the end of the year, I would guess. And maybe not top 5, just because I do love adventures games and like co-op games. But yeah, this has another great solo mode, great for competitive play. Wondrous Creatures. That's my last top new to me game of 2025 so far. Let's get to the actual games that have released this year or crowdfunded this year. And for number 10, I've got the recently crowdfunded Super Pixel Tactics. This is a re-release or kind of a re-envisioning of Pixel Tactics, kind of combining things together, changing the graphic design and stuff. But the big reason this is on my list is because of the new roguelite solo mode, which is great. Like, I really loved it. I only got to play one boss. It was, partly aspirational and hopeful, but I loved the way they did this. Pixel Tactics is a game that I always really enjoyed the core mechanics of, but I found it just like so harsh and mean as you killed each other and smashed each other with these combos of cards. And also it was just kind of like hard to teach because there's so many effects, as you can see on the cards on the screen right now. There's so much stuff to kind of like teach people about and so many tactical permutations you can go through. But yeah, with the solo mode, it looks amazing. I don't 100% love how they ran the crowdfunding campaign. I wish like the solo mode had been easier to kind of just get as its own like free add-on. I don't know if they changed that in the end. But regardless of that, I'm very excited to play this when it comes. That is Super Pixel Tactics, my number 10 game of 2025 so far. And my number 9 is actually very similar to Super Pixel Tactics in that it is a game from years ago, and they have kind of a new version with new expansions coming out, and that is Creating a Wild Hunt Festival. I just crowdfunded this one, but man, kind of like Decorum, it reminded me Creating is an awesome game, like already. But then the new mode where you're actually like adventuring and moving around a map, that's just awesome. And they also made some really good quality of life changes to the core game. And I just forgot what a good boss battle this is and what a good like representation of a JRPG combat system this is. So Creating a Wild Hunt Festival, my number 9. Very, very excited to play the full thing once it delivers. But that's it for crowdfunding games. All the rest are actually released in 2025 or like right at the end of 2024, because I've felt, honestly, this hasn't been the best year for crowdfunding, but really good for release games. And number 8 is Metal Gear Solid. I'm a fan of the video game, and they really got the video game adaptation done well. I like the core action system. I love the variety in characters. Having the VR missions to kind of play in a much more freeform way is great. Now, this one is a little weird if you're trying to play through the campaign with more than one or two players because you don't always have more than two characters to control. But yes, a great game, especially if you like stealth. That's Metal Gear Solid number 8. At number 7, we've got SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. I think that's what it's called. But this is a great game, great table presence with like the little like rotating board. Just the actions are super tight, but they combo together. Reminds me of Lost Ruins of Arnak in a way with that. And I'm very, very excited to see the expansion content that's coming because one of my complaints about the game might be that, there's only 5 aliens and you see them pretty quickly. But yeah, there's a great, great Euro. Although it is worth noting, even though it's my number 7 of the year, I would rank both Wondrous Creatures and Life of Amazonia above SETI. So that kind of shows you how great those games are if they were eligible for the 2025 list. But yes, that's SETI, number 7. Next at number 6 is Purple Haze. This is a war game set in Vietnam that is a mix of narrative exploration and like choose your own adventure, and this really crunchy combat mode that is actually pretty cool to play even by itself. Yeah, this one really impressed me with those combinations of two types of games I love, squad-based combat games and narrative choose your own adventure games. Just a lot of fun, although it is very mature. This is not for kids, not for families, but great, great game. That's number 6, Purple Haze. All right, and now I think we're going to get to the games many of you might have expected to be on the list. Number 5 is One Hit Heroes. I've enjoyed this one since I previewed it, and the final release is great. My kids love this one, especially my 12-year-old. We play it a lot. We have played through almost the entire campaign. The boss variety is great. The character variety is great. Now, my one complaint that kept this from being like number 1 or number 2 is that the game can be pretty swingy, and like sometimes you just have combos that feel unwinnable, and the bosses can be very harsh, and that can be a little bit frustrating as you go through. But the game is quick enough to set up and try again if things don't go your way. So still love this one. One Hit Hero is my number 5. Now, this one might be a surprise because it's so recent, but it's, definitely shot up my list very quickly. Vantage is my number 4. Now, y'all, if you've watched the channel, know that I love like exploration games, know that I love things like Seven Citadel. And Vantage's quick skill checks, quick narrative, great action variety, huge fun with building out your character and unlocking new abilities and items has made it a big, big hit early on for us. And my family loves it, which is always a bonus. So yeah, that is my number 4, Vantage. Next at number 3 is Core of Discovery. Man, I love this one. This is a cooperative minesweeper, if you want to call it that. You are logically deducing where to go while trying to survive in this harsh wilderness. You have amazing scenario variety and things to try out. Well, especially if you buy the expansions or get the Ultimate Edition. The core game only has a couple of them. And this game is harsh and doesn't hold back in trying to kill you, but it is so much fun and so varied and really challenges your brain. I love it. That's my number 3, Core of Discovery. Next at number 2 is War Story Occupied France. I said that I like narrative games with an exploration feel. I said that I like choose your own adventure games. This is one of the coolest, best ones I've ever got that got to me emotionally, had incredibly tough choices, and these incredible cinematic battles that felt like I was playing a war movie. Yeah, this one is one of the greatest experiences I've had this year, and I can still replay it a few more times and like show it to my family and stuff. So even though it is like a choose your own adventure kind of narrative game, it's not just a one-off. Absolutely love this one. That is War Story Occupied France, my number 2. And I bet this one won't surprise too many of you because this game is Unstoppable. That's my number 1 of the year so far. Unstoppable, the deck building, card construction game. The quick playtime, the tactical action choices, the co-op in 2 players is fine. Not my favorite way to play the game, but it works. And even the boss variety is fun. Yes, I would like more bosses. Yes, I do hope they come out with an expansion, but honestly, I'm super happy with just the core game, and I would play that for years, I think, with just what's already in there. But yeah, Unstoppable, easily my favorite game of the year so far. It's kind of far ahead of the other ones. We'll see how it shakes out by the end of the year, especially when it goes up against like Iridia and the Lord of the Rings trick-taking game and the other ones that are holdovers from last year. But I adore this one. Unstoppable, my number 1 of 2025 so far. Thanks for watching, everybody. There's my favorite games of 2025 so far. And hey, it's a pretty big hint to what some of my top 40 games of 2025 will be when I do that video in December or January. But let me know in the comments what some of your favorite games so far this year are. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.